The Nw Chpp by David McFadden. She tells me she's had a fight with her husband. We're sitting in the lobby of a little hotel. I heard the fight, but I buried my head under the pillows and thought about home. Now he's gone, and here we are. She's hook-nosed, skinny, blonde, and chain smokes. She's a Kiwi, and he's not really her husband, she says. She took up with him a couple of years ago after this chappie she'd been married to for 17 years died. And, oh God, she misses him still. He'd been one of the first Tongans to settle in New Zealand. When he died, they took him back to the islands for a traditional funeral. This new chappie is a great deal older, an overgrown boy who has to get his own way, and she's thinking of calling an end to it. She's waiting for him to return, not knowing if he's ever going to return, and she's worrying about how she's going to get back to Gisborne. He wanted to go snorkeling for the entire day, and she for only half a day. They fought bitterly, and he stormed off, taking their little rental car. I wish I asked how the Tongan had died. I, too, had been married for 75 years, and things like this happened every day. I didn't find it the slightest bit funny. In fact, I felt deepest sorrow, but I wanted her to know that since the divorce, my ex, though remarried, and I have become the best of friends and never quarrel. She asked if I noticed the Fijians standing up to their necks in the cool brown rivers, and even a horse up to his shoulders, his neck stretched out, eating grass from the shore, and a bull roped to a stake at high noon. I mentioned strolling through Nw where a tall woman appeared at her door and invited me in for a cup of tea. Turns out she wanted to show off her TV, sitting in the middle of her one big room, with a video player, and set up outside in a soundproof doghouse a generator, so she can watch her videotapes. The Fiji rugby team playing Scotland, and one of the wedding of Charles and Diana. The chappie bursts into the little lobby with an angry, upset, ugly face. He looks at neither of us, saying nothing, just barges right through and goes into their little room next to mine and slams the door. Blondie and I just stare at each other. He opens the door and snarls at us. "You two can find a room to rent for yourselves. This one's occupied." And slams the door again, this time harder. I speak of the difficulty of traveling with someone. Better to travel alone and shadowbox. "It's different when you're a girl," she says, and I have to respect her feelings on that. I'd like to be able to report that I rang the chappie's bell and gave him hell, and demanded he apologize to the clientele. But I didn't. He was far too angry, and I wasn't angry enough. I had no desire to make things worse. That is The Nw Chpp by David McFadden.